All right, I'm back with another inventory system update, and as you can see, it changed a bit. We got equipment and description. I put in parameter boxes, so only certain type of parameter or types of items can go in these parameter boxes. This is a type of weapon, and it can get in and out, and it can be switched with another weapon. We don't know if it switched, or it did switch, but we don't know because I don't have another type. But we cannot switch with this type of item, as you can see. But one thing we can do is take it out. But as you can see, this is not a type of weapon, so it doesn't go in. One thing I did is update this. Don't worry about that. And I made it so it has both an icon image and a portrait image right here. As you can see, pretty good stick right here. One thing I added is that if you go to another box and left click, it'll transfer that to over here. And you can go and stack these as well. So one thing I can do is drag this over here, and these will stack. As you can see right here, we have two. And you can also do is left click. I go here, right click in here, and it goes here. Now we have 3 of 3. I also made it so weapons or things that have one will not stack, but you'll have to switch them. And these things do switch places. One thing you can do is grab an empty box and switch them. It's crazy. And one thing you can also do is select one that has a stack amount and spread it like that, or do that. And yeah, it's not much, but well, to certain people, but it is a lot of coding I have in here. It's not the best, but it works. That's as much as I can say. I still have a lot to do. This is the one for just switching the items from here to the other side of the region right here. And this is the code for left clicking, which is a requesting item, and it sends the item if it can. And yeah, there was also a problem with the way I was trying to save data. I had both extra data and item as a separate class, but then I added these two together, so extra data can now be additive. And yeah, so base and extra data are now included within the same class. I also had a problem which I fixed, so I need to worry about that. But yeah, now these two classes come together. I also made it possible so I can add attributes to like a weapon. Let's say the stick right here. Let's add an attribute of, let's see, we can do damage right here. And it's going to be the attribute amount is going to be 1. And then a float attributes, we can add things like damage percent, which everything will be taken as a chance. And with a percent, it'll be percent strike of which type. Depending on the parameter box, it will choose what type of percent, along with a placement. But if here percent damage, it was going to go from the possibility of multiplying the initial damage from percent, so on and so forth. We have a min and a max. Minimum could be certain things like minimum effectiveness. With protection, it's going to be protecting the weapon or not. Also, what I can do with the attributes. But for now, I'll just keep it like this. Later on, I can make it so I can activate this bottom panel. Let me just show you the bottom panel I have. Yeah, I have some things organized. Here you go, extra data special, where we have ability, but it's gonna be attributes, and it will have like a type of scroll bar, so I can scroll through the attributes and you can see them. But currently, I don't have that function yet. And this is a player interaction where we can interact with this area. It's very simple, not much really, I could add a separate function so it could highlight this one instead of that one, vice versa. And yeah, I also worked on something which I haven't shown any of you, which is the AOA, area of attack. So I want players to attack depending on where the mouse is current to the player, and this will allow you to edit where the mouse is you can attack. So let's say you wanted to let's say you go here. So let's say you wanted right angle right here, so you can attack more. And if your mouse is over here, there'll be an attack towards the right rather than on top. You would just change the angle, so you won't have to worry. So now in here, that would be attacking over here rather than up here. But let's say like if you're more above the player, then if you're over here, then always be an attack. But you have to be very narrow. So people want to do that. Now I'll try to see if I can. But yeah, that's much I have. I know it's not a lot of progress, but still something. I can tell you that much. And I also I also have a keybind. So let's click here, keybind, and we have the state to see if it's true. Yep, look at that. Sorry for flashing. And I also have a separate script. So when I have a movement right here, I'm moving towards the right, and it disables the movement. Reason being of the keybinds, because of the player input right here, and the input values, which I go here. It contains a vector and a event action, which has a parameter of a boolean, whether that being true or not, which for the tab is going to be pull up menu. I'll add other keybinds later, but for now this is all I have. And I have a lot of actions and delegates. Let me show you. Right here. We have some actions here. Some actions here. This is going to be for what's called hot splitting item, where you drag with a right click and it'll split it between the containers. For the item holder, we also have delegates for when something is enabled or not, instead of checking the state whether something is true. So when we're gonna hot swap an item, then we'll add on what's called the behavior. Then when we end the hot swap, we remove the behavior, and it's easier now because I don't have to check for a state or a boolean. These will just go on automatically. We just have to check if there's a void in there or not. What was that for the entry function? Right here. I don't know where it is, but it's entry function. And now I have these instead of trying to enable and disable the even trigger. I can now just edit with these. I also had one for parameter. Where is it? Yeah, there we go, right here. And in here we just have a type of parameters. When the pointer enters, we could just check if the parameters length is equal than or greater than or equal to 1. We'll loop through them, and we'll see if the inventory handled sender type even has that parameter. So yeah, we'll swap. I could have changed it, but I don't really care at this point. It's not really game breaking. It's just something. Same goes with the exit, but this one has a boolean if it's been selected, so it can go through here. And then if it's selected, then it'll remove the receiver, so it won't swap. They also remove receiver, so this won't swap. But else then it won't remove the current receiver. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it's just the one that subscribes to the player input values, and it'll subscribe to enable player menus. That's pretty much all I got, I guess. It's not much to say about it other than that. And yeah, see ya.